In today's video, we're going to be starting our run through the mines of Moria, but we're going deathless. I'm your boy Winter Phoenix, and if you like this video or it's helped you in any way, drop a like and a comment to let me know you guys want more. Now, without further ado, this challenge started off pretty much like the story of my life. A failure, with a humbling experience when no one from my Discord server would answer my call to eradicate the orc scum that have taken over our home. Nonetheless, it was time to get going, and as the newly appointed Lord of Moria, I was the one to lead the charge, because there was no one else that was going to do it. Day one, and we dust ourselves off and get on the road. Grab ourselves some wood from the cave-in to light the way ahead. It's also time to craft our first pickaxe, but as the Lord of Moria, I've seen a thing or two, and I brought my own pickaxe. I will play the game though, and complete every quest, no matter how pointless it may be. We come across Eric, son of Eric.
Are you from our camp?
And he warns me I am all alone.
Yours is the only friendly face here.
Thanks, you stinking little bird, I'm well aware. For a bird, he's really long-winded, so we gotta move on. We want to do this as fast as possible, because my logic is the faster I'm done with this challenge, the less of an opportunity for something to go wrong. And since Eric didn't bring any tea, we're on the lam. But this bird is also persistent, and would meet us up ahead, to let us know there was no way out other than east.
Ah, Eric, what news?
There's no way west. No way out.
It was late in the morning of day one, and we had to set up our first camp, so we did just that. We're not staying here long, so we don't deck the halls out, but we get rid of some of those annoying missions at least.
Nice.
The beginning of day two, and I run into Eric again outside our first cursed door and major clue to what's been going on inside the mines.
These shadow vents are almost as bad as those cursed runes.
This black door is preventing us from going east, so now we need an audible, and we go with the into the mines on 3. Break! We head out to find our way into the mines when we come across our first axe fragment as well. Fist pumps of glee, now we've got to leave. First light of day 2, and we craft Ori's key. I already have the first fragment on me, so we're good to keep pushing through to the mines, as there's really nothing left for me in this area. I break down the camp for the resources and head out at noon. Late into the afternoon, I come across the elven quarters. I also run into a tribe of Saramon's filth, whom I overhear complaining about the current situation on the food chain, so I alleviate them of their problems. As a good Samaritan of Moria, of course. I dance with the bear, but it's a foxtrot and he wasn't ready. I find the entrance to the mines behind the bear cave and continue onwards. Before I go in though, I want to check out this orc stronghold.
Oh, an orc stronghold!
No wonder Saruman made us better.
Yeah, not the men care, chasing us away from every village.
Ha ha! That's one more for me!
That's better. The great Forge of Narvi is beyond the stronghold, and she needs some loving. Luckily, I've got the skills that pay the bills. I get the forge up and running, and the roaring fires light up the fresh night sky. Unfortunately, that would alert the orcs to my exact location, and they had a welcome party ready. Unfortunate for them, I should say, because it was this night where these kids would meet a real one. I pull out my spear-shaped belt and teach those youngins a thing or two throughout the night. It wouldn't be until the early hours of day 3 that we'd get into the mines and begin our descent. I find Lonus' chest and start to fix the place up. I light a fire, and you would have thought it lit the beacons because the orcs sent all the backup they had. I panicked and set a bedroll down in case I died. You know, in my deathless challenge. I quickly smartened up, and not a moment too soon, because this guy was coming in swinging for the fences. I make sure to let those goblins know I don't want anything that they're selling, but I will take all the goodies left behind. It's less grinding for me. After all that excitement, I figured I would sleep for the first time in 3 days. I feel bad, but we've got a mission to complete, so we gotta keep going. We sleep in a bit, and we don't get on the road till late morning. I would eventually meet up with Eric as I make my way through the old mines. Even more cursed doors, and now it's getting annoying. Luckily, Eric has knowledge of an old ancient way through the mines.
There is a way. Ancient way.
And now we've got direction. Later in the afternoon, we would come across our first troll, and we didn't have any money for the toll.
Of course, there are trolls. I hate trolls.
Looks like it's time to cut state funding and shut this toll bridge down then. In the twilight of day 3, I find a ranger's camp, desecrated by a nearby orc camp. I would not let this injustice stand. I had to erase all traces of this disrespect, and I would start with this guy.
Ha ha! That's one more for me!
No, don't do it!
I'd rest at this newly avenged ranger camp and begin again on day 4. Day 4 and we're off at first light. We spend most of the morning farming ores and fighting spiders for fiber. We've now made it back to the camp and we want to make Lonus's key for the second fragment. We haven't grabbed enough materials on our adventures, so it's time to go down and do some more farming. We head out at noon and we come across the crystal descent while we're farming. We make a note of this and what we would need to fix up the mine hoist. We spend the rest of the day farming materials to get the hoist up and running again, but I hate whacking trees for hours. So I employ the help of the local wildlife. This bear comes along and he cuts down all the trees as he makes his way to my face for a quick bite. We leash him around until we get what we need and he's had enough. He's turned to leave and we're okay with that. We got what we came for in the end and all is well. Now back at the base, we spend the night smelting any ores we got, preparing to make the journey into the crystal descent. It's the crack of dawn on day 5 and we're ready to leave this area behind us. We grab what we need for the descent and we make our way downtown. Now before we can head to the depths, we do have to finish up one last thing. The axe fragment left behind in Lonus's camp. We head over to the orc camp to ask around what happened to it. Bolgat man, I don't know this guy's name, is the leader of these motley crews.
Give him a good welcome, lads!
And he actually happens to know exactly where the fragment is. It's in his pocket. Well, it's time to run him out.
Aye, now! Fools! You'll never be rid of us in Moria!
We collect the fragment and head to the descent. It wouldn't be till noon of the 5th day when we finally have enough black diamonds and materials to repair the hoist. Day 6 and not even the roosters are up yet when we finally set our feet upon the dusty surface of the crystal descent. Immediately attacked by spiders and we knew we had to be on our toes here. One wrong step and it was a one-way trip to the bottom and to the end of this challenge. I encounter a few more spiders along the way and farm up some more resources. Despair starts to kick in and now the pressure is really building. Never mind walking off the edge to my death, the constant DOT damage of despair was nerve-wracking and I was on the clock. Find a light source or find a new challenge. We do a good job managing our health as we continue to descend. At first light, I finally get to the bottom and repair the mapstone there waiting for me. Now I can finally breathe that sigh of relief because I can now tele in and out of this area to get rid of that crippling depression. Video game wise at least. Late into the night, I started to feel like I was really dragging, so I had to pick it up a bit. Despite being exhausted, I tellied back to the lower descent to continue pushing on through the mines. Day 7 and we're a week in. I'm exhausted, but I'm also in high spirits farming these new ores and resources in the lower deeps. We make it to the ancient road that Eric spoke of early in the morning, meaning our day was just getting started. We farm a bit more and keep pushing until it's almost first light.
The steel will roll or glowing coal, pour over ore till days and way, hey, when the embers cool, ale and...
I make it to the old drain pumps and finally telly home, but not to rest. We've got too much to do before then. We fix up our gear and we grab a quick snack before we telly back to the lower deeps. Once here, we need to get across and we need some wood, so we start to cut down some mushrooms in the area, because when you need wood, you cut down mushrooms. It was morning time and all our commotion startled the sleeping lake monster, known as the Watcher. Not wanting to waste any more time, I whip out my trusty crossbow and 4 bolts. I wouldn't be needing any more shots than that.
Is that another Watcher?
But she wasn't alone like I was, and she didn't believe in fair 1v1s. Hordes of orcs rain out of the sky on me, and she rises from the depths as to say, you're pretty much fucked. Jesus Christ, 100,000 of them. Alright, just don't fall off. Don't fall off the side. Hit your shots, very good. You should be alright. Oh god, alright. Pull your shield out. Shield. Spear works. Spear works. There we go.
Knock this one dead!
Just get a little bit of breathing room here. No, don't fall. Kind of like trying to throw me into the water here. This is ridiculous. Alright, there she is. Let's see if we can get a shot here real quick. What the Okay, good shot, good shot, good shot. I don't know why you reload so slowly. Pull your shield down. Good block. Let's go, get wrecked. Come on. Huh? 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 Okay, ow. Alright. We're feeling it now, boys. We're feeling it now, boys. All right. Little rope of dope. All right. There she is. Just get by these guys. Excuse me, guys. Just one real quick. All right. But I correct that smug attitude quickly and keep building over to the drain pump housing. Or at least that was the plan. I realized I'm still short on wood for piers, so out to go get some more, but that's not all I'd find. It was noontime when I came across an orc campsite. I didn't think anything of it and started handing out L's to everyone in the vicinity, but this camp would be a little different this time around. I had not been watching my noise meters, and that fight with the Watcher was pretty loud. I had drawn too much attention to myself, and the horde was on me once again. This was bad though. I was far from home, very low on food, stamina, and armor. I was an old, battered man walking through the roughest neighborhood, and the locals weren't too happy. For obvious reasons, we make a break for the nearest mapstone I can think of. But with our stamina so low, fighting and running wasn't an option, so it was one or the other, and I chose to fight. But with precision strikes and quick parries, I made it out of there, but not without my fair share of wounds. Exhausted and starving, I make it back to the base as the night hits its darkest hour. Day 8 in its first light. Rested and stuffed, I hit the mapstone back to the drain pipe. We finally build across the lake and can fix the station to progress further. But it's never that easy, is it? The station's in bad shape and doesn't have many of the pieces lying around to fix it. I'll have to make them myself back at base and carry them all the way here. Or will I? I tele home and grab some supplies to make a hearth and a forge. Then grab the metals needed to make all the missing parts and head back to the station. Now I start popping these things out like crazy and speed up this service call. I get the station pumping and now it's time to move on. Unfortunately, this was an all-day event and would take us into day 9 by the time we actually finished. Day 9 and the pump is done. We head down to see just exactly what it was that needed to be pumped out in the first place. Turns out the great Belagos forge was flooded and now we can access it. But of course this means another service call from Mr. Fix-It. We assemble the forge and I feel the fires in the early morning of day 9. But what comes with that warm glow and warmth of success? Nothing. The horde called in and said they'd be late for their shift, so we kept pushing ahead until they wanted to come out and play. Halfway through the day, and we found the secret tomb of the kings, one of the few places the orcs have not managed to desecrate yet. It's always nice to see this area so clean and oblivious to the outside tribulations. Stumbling across an empty altar, we noticed the Khazad stone shrine.
Maybe we'll find it somewhere still in the mountain.
And add more work to the workload by volunteering ourselves to find it. Stewing in my own head over the need to impress the king, and I have my first near-death experience. Here's Eric again. How far behind I am. Oh my After nearly ending it all, I needed to step away to get my thoughts together. Barely a week in and I was already wondering if I'll make it. This early in the game and I've been battered and abused very aggressively, but now I was working against myself by almost yeeting myself into the abyss. I climb out of that pit and meet Eric again. He explains to me that the eastern stairs ahead are down and need to be repaired before I can actually go up them. Luckily for this bird and the entire dwarven race, Fixing Crap is my middle name. 100 granite is easy, but the 20 black diamonds are a toss-up. Let's just go back to base and see what we're working with. On the way back to the base, we take the time to mine some more ores, which is probably why what happened next happened at all. Now as we enter the Belagos Forge on our way back, we were going to finally pay for all that noise. The horde shut up now and we're ready to clock in. They pull an all-nighter with me and we go to work to the wee hours of day 10. I think I may be able to even do this within 30 days. With good behavior, that is. I hope you enjoyed this video and are eager to see more. This is obviously the first part of this little series that I'll be releasing once a week. Or until I die. This took me a really long time to make and I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like or a comment. Maybe even a sub. It's free, just a click away. Come on, you can do it, mi little corazón, huh? Alright, later nerds.